Welcome to the breakfast show on Faith FM with Skafy and Lindsay. This is the best place to start your day with positive and uplifting thoughts.
You're listening all across Australia on 87.6, 87.8 or 88 depending on where you are, or you can listen to us through our Faith FM app wherever you are in the world.
And if you're listening live, today is Thursday, the 5th of March, and I'm in the studio today with Lindsay. And of course, we have producer Shells today. Good morning to you, Shellsy.
Good morning, everyone.
It's good to be here. Good to have you both. Let's talk about what's coming up in our show today and some gratitudes. There's some interesting things going on.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the Jackie O and Kyle show on Kiss FM? It's like the biggest radio show in Australia.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Well, they actually split for good after like 20 plus
What?
years together. And they had like a big disagreement on air.
Oh.
So we can talk a little bit about that. But I also want to take us a little bit to Iran.
Yep.
Because all surrounding countries to Iran, they kind of closed the borders to avoid people, Iranians to flee to their country.
Okay.
Except one.
Oh.
We're going to be looking at which one is the country that opened up their doors and their arms to total strangers to come and spend time with them. So today's show is going to be pretty interesting. We're going to be looking into the prophecies to the tribe of Judah and onwards,
yes.
from Jacob's deathbed. And my gratitude for today is, I'm actually grateful for larvae.
Lava?
Yeah, particularly black soldier fly larvas.
Okay.
Because
You can keep them to yourself.
you can keep no. Actually, I can share if you want.
Please
if you want
don't.
some, I can definitely give you some. It turns out I was just doing some research about it. I was upset at first because I had a worm farm. And then these black soldier larvae, they just killed all of my worms.
Oh.
But it turned out, and I was like, But it turns out that the black soldier larva flies, they actually produce one of the best composts in nature.
Oh.
It's like better than worm composting, better than worm casting. It's real, and with one advantage, they eat absolutely everything that you throw there.
Radio.
And they eat it at super fast speed. Like, I barely can keep up with all of my, I cook a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
They just chew through everything. And it's free. And it produces the best, like literally black gold.
Are you contributing to the fly population in your backyard? I don't approve.
Black soldier flies are not the annoying flies.
Oh.
They don't come inside of your home.
Okay.
They don't annoy you. They are not that kind of fly. They actually look quite pretty. So I think they're just a marvel of
Okay.
God's creation. And I'm so blessed to have a whole bunch of them just composting my organic trash for me. I'm wondering if anyone else also has worked with black soldier flies before for composting. Let me know here, 0491 and 064 669. What about you, Lindsay?
What am I grateful for? Look, I am grateful for the physical health and ability to go skipping and frolicking. And as I go for my evening walk after dinner, everyone who drives past can see me skipping and frolicking down the pathway.
Okay.
I have people waving, and I don't know who they are, but they're like, "Oh, it's Lindsay. She's being crazy and skipping around." So
Sounds like you're bursting with health and vitality.
I don't think we skip enough.
look, skipping is a very efficient form of transport. It's very energy efficient, and you get very far for very few steps.
Yeah, you know what? Skipping is great. I'm glad that you're making skipping great again, because I think it's a great way to warm up for runs as well.
Oh, there he goes again, trying to convince me to go for runs.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
And we are now going to get a fresh quiz question from producer Shells.
You are going to have one from me.
Give us the curveballs, Shellsy. Give us the, my brain is asking for some challenges today.
I was about to say this is an easy one.
Yeah. Okay,
God.
that's all right. We're going to just ease into it this morning,
Okay.
hey?
Yeah, this is your easing in one. All right, everybody. Even you guys at home can have a challenge to see if you can be quicker than Lindsay and Skafy. And our text line, just so you have that chance, 0491 064 669. Our first quiz of the day. What is God's covenant name in the Old Testament? What is God's covenant name? No. In the Old Testament, yes.
Thank you very much, Producer Shells.
So Skafy managed to get that one. Lindsay's thinking twice, is she? Let's see.
She's fiercely scribbling things in her notepad.
No, that's much longer.
I think you're overthinking this one, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Once you hear the answer, you're going to be...
Yeah, she got there.
Oh, well
Third
done.
try.
So many names to choose from. Guys.
There is. So what is God's covenant name in the Old Testament? And you guys can text us in on 0491 064 669. What is God's covenant name in the Old Testament?
Okay, thank you very much for that one.
Okay,
I can give a
you
hint.
have a chance to beat me today now, Skafy.
A chance? Why? Because you're...
Because you got one ahead of me.
I'm one ahead of you. That's right. Well, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
I think the hint is, tell me if I'm wrong, because I could be, but this is the word that in the New Testament is often translated as Lord.
Throughout the Bible, yeah, it's
Yes,
a
with
lowercase,
capital letters.
it's a small capital letter Lord.
Okay, a small capital letter Lord.
Yeah.
Don't know if that helps, really.
No, it probably doesn't.
All right. Well, let's jump up in our Bible study then.
Let's
Lindsay,
do
I'm
it.
keen to talk about these things with you. So for chapter 49 in Genesis in particular, let's look
Verse 8.
into verse 8. Yes.
Yeah. Judah, you are he whom your brothers shall praise. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He bows down, he lies down as a lion, and as a lion who shall rouse him? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes. And to him shall be the obedience of the people, binding his donkey to the vine, and his donkey's colt to the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk.
Okay. Thank you. Let's break this down here. So the context here again, Jacob is in his deathbed. He's giving these prophetic blessings to his sons. So far, we have only seen people crashing and burning.
Yeah. The three
Reuben,
older brothers are
Reuben, Simeon, and Levi.
basically being cursed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Basically, Jacob saying, hey, look, not because Jacob was not fond of his own children or anything. It's just because he was saying, look, your character, that's where it's going to lead you.
Yeah, an observation of their character and seeing it play out for generations to come.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to think that so much of our ancestors' characters played a role in our lives. But then Judah comes, and Judah, who at some part of the history was quite, quite a bad character himself. You know, he was the one who suggested to sell Joseph as a slave, which kind of saved Joseph's life, but at the same time, it's not like the greatest thing that you could do to your brother.
No.
And then he wanted to burn down his daughter-in-law because of her supposed adultery, which ended up, he realized, hey, you know what, she was right and I was wrong. But Judah, as we mentioned before, of all the brothers, he was the only one who we could very, very clearly see a transformation, repentance, humility even. And as we mentioned in the story of Tamar and Judah, there is a shred of humility, but it was humility.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
He was certainly humbled in that moment.
He was
in
humbled.
public.
Yes.
So,
not that he went all the way to say, you're right, I'm wrong, but to say, oh,
You're
more righteous than I am, even though he was not particularly righteous himself.
And then he's the one who's going to bat for Benjamin, saying, take me instead of him.
And that's the evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. When by the time it comes to Benjamin, you can see that sort of reluctance in accepting that he was even wrong, but accepting, turned out becoming full self-sacrificial love, saying, look, I cannot do this to my father, I cannot do this, just take me instead.
Yeah.
So we can see like that, Judah before the Tamar story, Judah during the Tamar story, how God used him, and then Judah after the Tamar story is like completely different man. He's now displaying God's character.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a series of bad moments and bad things that kind of happened to him, and then he's trying to make things right in some sort of way certainly sensing the weight of guilt and suffering that's taken place in his family. And now his character is being changed.
Yeah, absolutely. Character being changed. So let's look into the inner world here of these prophecies.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if they come true. What do they mean? So the first line here, Judah, your brothers shall praise you.
Yes.
Do you catch anything there?
You are whom your brothers shall praise. What do you see there?
It's a very fun play with words here, with Hebrew
because
words.
Judah means praise, does
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yes. And the reason why the story of the name of Judah is an interesting one as well, because remember that when Jacob was married,
Yes.
he married the two sisters. He was, he was
Leah and
deceived. So you have Leah and Rachel, and Leah, her first son's name was Reuben, which in Hebrew is Reuven, which means, hey, look, I have a son. That's what his name means.
Woohoo. Good.
Yes.
Good
Hey,
times.
I have a son. Like the other girl doesn't. My sister.
Look at me.
Look at me. Then the second one, she called Simeon. She's like, oh, look, God has heard my prayers. Simeon means like to listen. God has listened to me, not to my sister. Maybe, that should be hinting you to spend some more time with me.
Yeah. Give me some of the love.
And Jacob didn't really care for her at all. He didn't really like her.
No.
Then she had the third son. She's like, wow. And she called him Levi, meaning my heart. Because kind of saying, look, now that I'm giving my husband like 3 sons, he's totally going to love me now.
Yeah.
And then Jacob couldn't care less.
Yeah.
So for the fourth time, when she had the first son, Judah, she said, you know what? This time I'm going to praise the Lord. Instead of trying to seek for the attention, seek for the love of my husband, you know what? I'm just going to be happy and content with God's love.
Yeah.
Which was very interesting. So
Yeah.
God honored that now with Judah being who he was.
Yeah. That's such a cool backstory.
It is
to
a
his
cool
name.
backstory, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he's
Leah,
saying,
the unwanted wife, the unwanted sister, is just, having all these kids and is in this situation that's not great for anybody. And she's going through her own personal journey, connecting with God through it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And she realized that, you know what? It's kind of aimless to seek the applause and the tap in the back of this world, because sometimes it doesn't come. Sometimes love doesn't come from even the people who are supposed to be loving us.
Her story kind of reminds me a little bit about the story of Hagar as well. These two women were both caught up in marriages that weren't for them, and they were kind of caught in the crossfires, and they're having children, and it's
Being rejected.
or in Hagar's instance, kind of being abused and running away. But in it all, like these women who were sucked into things bigger than themselves, God still met them exactly where they were, and they had a personal relationship with God in some way at the end of it.
God met with them and cared
Yeah.
for them. So Judah, your brothers shall praise you. So Judah, your name means praise, and guess what? Your brothers shall actually praise you. Like your brothers are going to like to say, you're going to be important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. That basically means, hey, you're going to have victory.
You're going to be strong.
You're going to be strong.
Yeah.
You're going to be a valiant tribe. Your father's sons shall bow down to you. You are going to have a leadership position
Amongst your
amongst
brothers
your
or
brothers.
the fellow tribes.
Yeah. And that of course would have happened because Judah was a leading tribe.
Yes.
And we're going to see
Later
more
in
of
down the
details
track.
about that as well. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He couches, he lies down as a lion, and as a lion, who dares to rouse him up? What do you make of this lion analogy here?
A lion's whelp. Well, a lion's whelp, isn't that like
a baby lion.
A baby, like a
cub.
lion cub.
Yeah.
So you're just a young lion, a strong young lion with lots of opportunity ahead.
Yeah, lots of opportunity, lots of vitality, lots of space and room to grow in.
And a lion was like the apex predator of that time and place.
Yeah.
Right? They were the ones who, ruled over the land amongst the animals, the ones who were stronger and overpowering and also kind of glorious. Have you ever seen their manes? They're so beautiful.
I have seen lions that very up and close and
Yeah.
personal. Mhm.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
No, so it certainly comes with a lot of, I guess, a sense of sovereignty and prestige and strength and just really good vibes coming from this idea.
One of the best compliments you can get, like you're a
Yeah.
lion in the Jewish culture. Speaking of which, did you know that a lot of people, for some time, they were doubting the Bible because the Bible has some stories with lions. But if you go today to the Middle East, you're not going to see
What
lions.
stories are you referring to?
Oh, for Samson, for example.
Yeah.
Talking about the story of the lion that, killed one prophet of God that
Yeah.
was not.
So are you saying
obeying him.
people are struggling with this
No,
because
some
there's no
skeptics,
lions there today?
Some skeptics pointed out the
Yeah.
fact that there are no lions in that today.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there weren't thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Like we have, endangered species, and we have different animals going extinct in certain areas but being alive in other areas. So it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So what happens is that they have found, archaeologists have found not only a lot of references to lions in that region from also external biblical sources.
Okay.
They have found bones
Oh, it's true.
of lions in that area as well. And even when you look today, there's something very interesting because people normally think that lions only occur in Africa, right? Today.
Yep.
But it's not true.
No,
No another country
They're
have lions.
in Asia as well, aren't they?
Not
Or
that I know of.
Or Europe, like somewhere.
Not that I know of, other than Zeus. But there's actually another place where they are, like, you can actually find full-blown
Where?
lions in the wild.
Where's that?
Iran.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, that's in Asia. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that sort of that area that's between Asia and Europe. That kind of region.
So Iran is very interesting, though, because it's really bordering the Middle East. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the definition of the Middle East is that the eastern borders of the Middle East are the mountains that are kind of creating the border of Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of lions that still live there because, they haven't been hunted down or anything.
Sure.
So, which we can conclude, well, if we have lions on this side, then have the middle with the vacuum, and then to the left side of the map, to the western side, we have lions. Well, it is only logical that lions exist just throughout that whole area.
Region, yeah.
But they have been hunted down to
Of
extinction.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So moving on here, it's talking about him, a lion, being leader, being strong, but also growing. That was just the beginning of Judah's glory. He's going to develop even more.
Even better.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until Shiloh comes. And to him shall be the obedience of the peoples. Okay, let's talk about this. This is the most important passage, I think.
Well, first of all, it starts off with this idea of a king or a ruler.
What is the scepter?
The scepter, like that's the I don't know, the fancy wand or whatever it is that the king of whatever area would be holding. It would be like some sort of gold thing with a bauble on the end or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like a metal rod, normally iron.
Yeah.
That kings used, particularly when they were like speaking in public. Almost like a microphone, like, hey, pay attention to me kind of things. And then when they were sitting down, they kept it like between their knees.
Okay.
It's just a symbol of power. Actually, even today, there's many countries that actually still use that.
Really?
Yeah. I'll give you one example of a scepter. In the Brazilian army,
Okay.
which is, people consider it to be like a modern army in many respects. Generals, they walk around. I remember when I was young in being in the army in Brazil, being a soldier there. I remember that seeing these generals carrying these like tiny little wooden, rod in their hands, whatever. It doesn't seem that rod was not doing anything. It's not that he had a button that could explode things or anything like that. Kind of looked like a bit of a maestro stick.
A what?
Maestro, like you know what a maestro is?
No.
Like the conductor of
maestro stick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he would walk all around. But later on, I found out this is a scepter. This is just a symbol of authority, of power. And I think that they give it to like the top generals in certain areas. They can, use that. So that symbol, that analogy of you holding something to demonstrate that you actually have the power, it's still there. I think that the royals in England as well, in the UK, I also think that in some official ceremonies they also have a scepter.
Yeah, and we also hear about the scepter in the story of Esther, where the king, if he holds out his scepter to her, then she would be allowed to approach him, but otherwise generally you're not allowed to approach the king unsummoned. But he held it out and she was allowed to live and make her request. So we see that in the Persian court hundreds of years later.
That's right. So it's a universal symbol of power.
Yeah.
And what Jacob is saying here is that your tribe shall hold that, which is very interesting because indeed, even though the first king of Israel was not from Judah, was a Benjamite, Saul, since Saul, Judah always had a king that would belong to the line of David.
Judah,
And that,
yeah.
the line of Judah. David being from the line of Judah, the first king. And what is very interesting is that situation continued for thousands of years, even after the exile.
Oh, wow.
And they come back, which is, from a political perspective, it's a miracle in itself. Because there's so many conspiracies and plays of power and coups and everything for the same one lineage to continue having the scepter, the power in their hands. It was a remarkable fulfilling of this prophecy.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
And now we're going to ask producer Chelsea to give us one more time the answer to the quiz question. Sorry, the quiz question and the answer.
All right. So the answer to question 1, which is what is God's covenant name in the Old Testament, was Yahweh.
Yahweh. Yes.
That makes me think of the beautiful song in Sight and Sound, Esther. I wish I could do it. I can't sing, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
And I want to ask you, Lindsay, why were you scribbling so furiously so many names? Tell me all the names that you scribbled there.
I only wrote down 3 answers. So the first one was I am.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
And then the next one was God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because that's how God also instructed Moses to let his people know who he was specifically. First say I am, then say God of Abraham, Isaac,
Oh, that's
and
why
Jacob.
you were writing so much, because that's a big
And I was like,
title.
what do you mean that's not the right answers? And then Yahweh, I'm like, yeah, that's his personal name. Like, not his covenant name, it's his personal name.
I didn't make the quiz.
I know. There's lots of answers.
Yeah, look, I guess that I am, it is a way to say Yahweh. So I would give you the points.
Radio. It means to be more than I am.
Yeah,
it's very
the self-existing one. It's a bit of a hard one to translate.
Yeah. Oh, well.
All right.
All right. We'll leave that as maybe could accept others.
Okay, Chelsea, what's the next one, please?
At what speed should one get into the action of speaking and getting angry? So apparently there's a speed. Yes, so Lindsay's there quick. There is a speed at which you should have the action of speaking and getting angry. And what speed is that? Yes, Joseph.
That's
a good one.
Regular speed for giving answers is the correct answer.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something here from the military world. You know, the Navy SEALs have this saying. Not only the Navy SEALs. I think that a bunch of other special military units have. This is their saying. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast.
Okay.
You get it? So sometimes it's better than to be slow and smooth and get accuracy because it's better than to have to go back again and redo it because you hurried into it. So I take that a bit of my life mantra.
Okay.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Get it right the first time.
Rightio.
All right, you guys can text us 0491 064 669. At what speed should one get into the action of speaking and getting angry?
Okay, thank you very much, Chelsea, for that one. I actually want to read a message that popped through here by our friend Lincoln. He said, "Hey, Skafy, I work in an 8-ton beach rake." Wow, that's definitely a very big beach rake. "And I look after all the beaches in Wollongong, 42 kilometers of coastline." Wow. "And with all the seaweed, there's so many flies. Sometimes I can't open the door of the tractor, but I am blessed and give thanks for this unique job." That's amazing, Lincoln. That is incredible. I'm sure that the beaches of Wollongong are all the better because you're there when people are... there's nothing like stepping onto a beach and you see the sand just freshly raked, nice and fresh, no rubbish laying anywhere whatsoever. You can just enjoy the beauty of God's creation. Look, you know what, Lincoln? If you ever need another job, come to Newcastle. Our beaches are needing a little bit of love. I think that I'm going to blame this on the tourists.
On the tourists?
On the tourists. But there's often you ended up finding some, plastic things that you say, this does not come from nature.
I wish we could just blame the tourists, but I don't think it's just them, unfortunately, having grown up in public schools.
But look, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. You know, my kids and I, we practice the take three for the ocean motto. Have you heard about this one?
No.
Take three for the ocean. So basically, whenever we are at the beach, we each try to find, we have a little competition. We each try to find 3 rubbishes that we have not thrown there.
Yeah.
And we throw them in the proper bin. Or if there's no bin, we just keep them with us until we find the proper bin. Because if each person would just take 3 garbages from the floor, guess what? We're going to have amazing beaches. And hopefully someone that is littering will see the example and say, you know what? I'm going to start doing that the same. So we've been practicing that for many years now. Actually, it even became a little competition. My son, for example, he spots the rubbishes in the street or even in the beach before I do.
Wow.
Daddy, here, one. I got one already.
Very
so
good.
we make a little competition.
So good. I was picking up some rubbish yesterday as I was going for my skipping and frolicking down the street. I was like, oh, there's a big plastic bag. Let me grab that and put it in.
Doesn't it feel really nice?
Yeah,
I actually feel very, very satisfying.
Actually, just the other day, I was driving past and I saw one of my old lecturers out near the front of his house, and he was like weeding the grass along just like a public piece of pathway, and he was just picking out weeds. And I was like, wow.
I never done that. But I'll tell you this, the temptation is real. Sometimes I go to certain places. I actually love mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
And using the whippersnipper. So sometimes if I'm walking past like a public pathway and I see that the grass is overgrown, oh man, I'm just thinking, man, should I just go to my home, grab my whippersnipper,
just real quick,
and just for a small short mow here. It's good. That's gonna be looking so amazing. And then I remember my own lawn needs some mowing, so I go back to reality. But the temptation is real, friends.
Oh, man. It's always more fun cleaning up someone else's space than your own.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the Judas story here. Thank you very much, Lincoln. Really appreciate next time that I go to Wollongong, I'll definitely think of you. We are talking about the scepter, shall not, pass between his feet. And then there is this until Shiloh comes.
What is Shiloh? I know Shiloh is a place in the land of Canaan.
Yeah.
But what is Shiloh as a person? What does that mean?
Yeah, because look, when you're reading here, because there is the city Shiloh. I think it's mentioned like 30 odd times in the Bible.
Wasn't that where the tabernacle was?
Yes.
During the time of King Saul.
It was. So for about 300 years.
Yeah. During the time of the judges.
During the times of the judges, all the way pretty much to the times of King David.
Almost
to the time of King David.
Yeah.
Basically, you had the tabernacle in the city of Shiloh, so the city was important because of that. So you see some famous stories there. Samuel's story.
Yep.
The tabernacle was in Shiloh. Then he moved on to a place called Kiryat Jearim, and after that, ended up going to Jerusalem. And so that's that. But then here it says, look, until Shiloh comes, and to him shall be the obedience of the people. So the context here does not really allow us to think that Shiloh is a city. We're looking at Shiloh as a person. Now, Shiloh has a beautiful meaning to it. Do you know what it means?
No.
It means the bringer of peace.
Okay.
The one who brings peace.
Till Shiloh, the bringer of peace, comes.
Yes.
Wow.
Or the one whose right is.
Whose right is.
Yeah, kind of he's the one who's the right to rule is, or the right to
the one
be worshipped
who has
is.
the right.
Yeah, the one who has the right.
Okay.
Scholars are kind of divided.
The right of way.
Yeah,
the guy
because this is a very unique name.
Yeah, okay.
Very unique name.
Wow.
But then, until the one who brings peace, or the one whose right to rule is, until he comes, and to him shall be the obedience of the peoples. Who are we possibly talking about here?
Oh, well, I mean, that sounds like Jesus.
It sounds like Jesus. This is a 100% messianic prophecy saying, look, you're going to be leading, you're going to be in charge, you're going to be in the throne until the time of the real peace bringer comes, Shiloh. Yeah. So it's a title for Jesus. It's a beautiful title. As a title, it only appears once in the Bible. That's it. You can highlight it in your Bible, the peace bringer. This is it here. So Jacob is saying here that the Messiah is going to come from Judah. This is a bombastic revelation to me.
Bombastic. Okay.
Really bombastic, because again, Judah is not the firstborn. The first king of Israel was not going to be Judah. No. There is no way that Jacob could have known that, or anyone really. No. And this
only God knows that.
Yeah,
and yet
this has not been added after Jesus came. So this is, I think, to me, one of these evidences that the Bible is supernatural. Like, why? Because, imagine Jesus came from the tribe of Benjamin, for example. Well, that prophecy would not just be true.
Yeah.
Or he would probably be reinterpreting it, but saying, who is that? This Shiloh. Was Solomon, because Solomon has also peace in his name and so on. But it has a bigger fulfillment in Jesus here. It says, until Shiloh comes, particularly because Solomon will be just at the very beginning of the scepter shall not depart from your hand.
Yeah.
That is something that happened over generations, centuries.
Yeah.
And again, miraculously so. Because the amounts of intrigues that happen, it's no joke.
No.
And for that same one family to stay in power, when we're reading the book of Judges, the book of Kings, you realize that the only reason is God's people, God's blessings and protection.
Yeah, like we look at the monarchies in other parts of the world, like I believe the monarchy in England, we've got the same family ruling only for a few hundred years at a time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
there's so much intrigue that takes place that there's takeovers, there's murders, there's all sorts of things going on, and somebody else coming in and taking the throne. This happens all over the world for, so many different places for so many different years. Like, you only get dynasties for like a few generations.
Yeah.
Or maybe up to 10 if you're lucky or something, and then like it's taken away and somebody else comes into power.
That's right.
But for thousands of years, for the rulership to be under the same guy.
Yeah,
like
same family.
Same family, same tribe. That is impressive.
It is very impressive.
And then for also Jesus to come through that line.
And one thing is for this to happen amidst a time of peace, for example, and prosperity, because why change if everything's going all right?
Yeah.
But after like civil wars
and exile in Babylon, and Persia,
and kind of coming back and like your throne is still there, just waiting for you.
Yeah,
it's really amazing.
Crazy.
Then it says here that he ties his foal to the vine and his donkey's coat to the choice vine. He washes his garment in wine and his robes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are dull from wine. Actually, my translation says dull from wine. I think that the
darker than wine.
Yeah, so it's darker than wine, and his teeth white from milk.
Whiter than milk and wine.
I think that the KJV says his eyes are redder than wine. But let's look into
the New King James says his eyes are darker than wine.
Darker, yeah.
And his teeth.
I think that's a better translation than mine here, the dull one.
This is fascinating because, like, the imagery that comes to mind is the days leading up to Jesus' sacrifice on the cross.
Yeah,
because there's a cult of a donkey or one of those types of animals that Jesus says, go to this man who you will see and then ask him and say, hey, the Lord needs this colt, right? This donkey that's never been ridden on because it's too young. It hasn't been broken in yet. And the vine refers to blood, right? It refers to that cup of covenant as well. And we have Jesus' sacrifice. There's so much referring to like the moments leading up to his death.
Absolutely. There's I think a dual application here.
Yeah.
There's one application of prosperity first, because look, for you to be able to tie your foal to the vine, it's you need a bunch of things. For example, why would you tie them to a vine, not to a post in the middle of the
tree
street?
Or something sturdy.
Unless like vines are everywhere. So, and they are so strong, these vines. Because vines can actually be fiddly and small and not very particularly strong plants. Certainly not enough to hold down on a hundreds of kilos animals.
Yeah.
But these vines need to be very, very strong in vines to be able to do that. There is this element of you can just leave him at the vine and just go away. You don't need security. There's this element of prosperity. There's this element of prosperity of washing your garments in wine. Nobody washed their garments in wine or grape
red
juice.
And staining.
But then if you have so much grape juice, it's such an abundance. And grape juice was a luxury item back in the days. It's not just like available everywhere, every time. It was something that they prized a lot. And to have your garments washed in that, saying like, wow, how much you need to have, how much abundance that you have that you just use it to wash your clothes. It's kind of saying here today, oh yeah, I wash my clothes, look, with non-alcoholic champagne. You say, like, Skafy, look, number one, this is probably yucky. And number two, you're probably spending a lot of money because these things are expensive.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Just,
or you can say, you know what, I'll tell you another one. You can say, Lindsay, my life is so abundant that I actually wash all my clothes with bottled water and mineral water.
That's unnecessary, but okay.
You
do that if that works for you. If you can splurge, you
That's
splurge,
right.
I suppose.
This would be splurging. So this is kind of the idea here. And his robes in the blood of grapes, and of course, Jesus's robes, now the dual application of that is that Jesus is the vine, the choice vine of God himself. And he's tied to a colt. Mm-hmm. His colt is tied to him, to the foal of a donkey's coat. He's washing his garments in wine, representing the blood. The righteousness of Jesus is the righteousness of Jesus represented as a garment and stained by blood.
I also really see this connection with washing and the wine. So
Yeah.
we are washed in the blood of
We
the
are
Lamb.
washed in the blood
We are
of
made
Jesus.
righteous and clean in God's sight spiritually because of Jesus' blood.
Yeah.
And so, you see that connection there.
Absolutely, there's that connection there. And then his eyes are dull, or his eyes are blacker, darker than wine. Also, this is like vitality. Mm-hmm. The wine is like, it has a brighty kind of a shiny
rich,
feel to it. So when you talk to someone and you see that their eyes are like sparkling, and
like
gleaming,
wine sparkles a bit.
It's like, wow, his eyes are sparkling with intelligence, with vitality. And then his teeth white from milk. So again, milk, he's not malnourished. He's going to be this abundance and so on. So that's the prophecy to Judah. It's amazing prophecy. I think that Judah really got the one of the better blessings here from his father. And it has this dual application, which I think is really cool. It applies to Judah. Judah ended up getting the largest territory. I think there's like over 100 cities mentioned in the Bible from Judah compared to just a handful from Ephraim, for example.
Yeah, it's certainly, it looks like it's a third of the landmass, I think, almost. If you look at the...
Yeah, it's massive. It has Jerusalem in it.
Yeah.
It's so big that it has even like a small other territory
it's like a
inside.
third or maybe 2/5 of the portion of the land of Israel.
Yeah. So there you go. There's that element of prosperity, the element of blessing, but ultimately the element of the greatest of blessings is Shiloh, the peace bringer, who is going to come from the line of Judah.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
And it's now time for our giveaway. Our giveaway today is a list of all the messianic prophecies in the Bible that have been fulfilled in Jesus. Have you seen these ones, Radio Friend, before? Have you seen these ones, Lindsay?
I think I have seen some lists out there. I think there's a pastor in the US that I came across. He made a song with all of the different names of Jesus once. So I don't know about the list of prophecies, but I've certainly seen all sorts of different interesting lists referring to Jesus before. So.
Yeah, so if you'd like to have a look, I can send you the link to that list. It will contain all of the references, the prophecies regarding Jesus in the Old Testament and how they were fulfilled in the life of Jesus. It's a really cool resource.
So
I think that everybody should have a look into it. It is actually quite remarkable to think that all of these small, tiny little details have been all fulfilled in the life of Jesus. That gives me so much confidence that we're not dealing with just any book or any old religious book. We're actually dealing with the true Word of God. Because there's no way any human being could have created that on its own. Absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to get that list, text me here, 0491 and 064669, hashtag Messiah. 0491 064 hashtag 064669 with hashtag Messiah. We're now going to get the answer to the quiz question. So please, Chelsea.
So what speed should one get into the action of speaking and getting angry? A slow speed.
Yeah, slow.
Slowly.
Now, I must say, so does the Bible say like be slow to speak or just says just slow to anger?
James 1:19-20.
Yep, slow to get angry.
James chapter.
1, verse 19 and 20.
Okay, so let me see here. This you know, my beloved brethren, but everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Yeah, right. Love it.
So
What a great
anger
passage.
is
I'm highlighting
appropriate,
here.
but try not to jump straight into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And then when you're dealing with anger, deal it in the right way, not unleashing or being violent against other people.
I know a lot of people, like Christians, who say that anger is wrong and bad and you shouldn't ever feel angry. But anger is a feeling that comes up as a response to stimulus in our lives, and it tells us that, hey, there's something to pay
There's
attention
some
to here.
injustice there.
There is an injustice, something
Or a
needs to be
perceived
done.
injustice, at
Exactly. And it's so important that we don't have that perspective, but that we are managing and regulating our emotions well, and we are appropriately dealing with whatever is causing that anger. And that we're not hurting other people when we are angry, but that we are addressing things maybe firmly if needed, but not causing unnecessary harm to others because of our anger.
And being quick to listen as well. I think that's one of the goals. Like every time you're feeling anger, so replace that in your brain, radio friend. I have replaced in my brain. It has only given me blessings.
Yeah.
So when I'm angry, instead of lashing out on people or unleashing my anger towards other people, I say, you know what? If I'm angry, let me investigate first. Because you know what? A lot of times my anger is not even justified.
Yeah, exactly.
Step number 2, talk to God about your anger. He's going to replace that with peace. And then step number 3, you can address the source of what made you angry. After you investigated, after you went to God, after He gave you peace, that is going to equip you to talk the truth, speak the truth, but seasoned in love.
Thanks for being a part of the Faith FM family. Join our community on Facebook or get in touch at 1-800-FAITH-FM.